Hello and welcome to Combat Mission Black Sea. This will be the very first NATO turn of this whole endeavor, and it's pretty boring. I have put your units into almost as you put them deployment. The American company in particular and the second company were put into the field south of town because there's physically no space for them to be on the main road. So this turn is spent with units fucking and unfucking themselves traffic-wise. Your scout platoon gets headway, which is probably what you're going to want. The first company support assets are making good progress towards the forest in the north. The American company starts the headway. I have them on delayed movement orders because they all end up using the same road. So they're moving across fields now, which they originally were coming down the road, but they're still making okay progress. Everybody else is just kind of waiting so they don't just add to a gigantic traffic jam. So that's the overview. There is one other thing that happens this turn, and that's just a few smoke rounds come down. Only 3 of them, I think. So there's that. Not exactly going to be covering much. Alright, here is turn 2 of Infinity. It's taken me fucking hours to get through these turns. Again, I set most of second company moving this turn. You can see them starting to set off from the fields on the left. Again, roads were just completely blocked, so they all started in that field there. I don't think anything's getting bogged or anything like that. You're moving reasonably well. The main road out of the village is actually surprisingly hard to navigate because there's trees on every side, so units are just fucking... these units, these first company units are having a tough time deciding what the hell they want to do. The support units are doing okay though. They've broken away from tree and building pathfinding hell, and they're starting to get on their merry way. Your tanks start moving, and there's just a couple more things, mostly support elements at the back that I haven't started to move yet. So, there's that. And here's the status of that smoke that's still falling. Coming down. Fun. Skip a few. That's where the smoke screen is at the end of the turn. NATO turn 3. Exciting things. You got like a little trident going on. Or like a little stick man flexing. There's like a growth on this side. Anyways, you continue advancing on really 2 main axes with this little group doing their own thing. I'll do a quick through of all the units at the very end of turn 5. This is taking so long that I can't cover everything what we're doing like 4 turns in a row. So at the end, I'll make sure I'll go over so you know who's who. For now, you just have all these vague units, so take a guess. Maybe you'll get lucky and it'll be you, haha. So, starting to get some traffic jams down here. Everything moved out, kind of spaced, but they're hitting the one road out of town at this point. Your recon starts to make some better progress. I start moving up the last of your units. I think you still have a couple waiting behind, but we'll see how that goes in the next turn. And just quickly, this is what your smoke looks like at the end of turn 3. It's actually pretty good coverage from what I can tell. The wind is blowing east, so all that smoke is forming a nice little line. No idea how effective it is, but it's there. So here's American turn 4. NATO turn 4, Ukrainian turn 4, it's everybody's turn 4, except the Russians, they come after this. So, stuff is moving, your recon is slowly escaping hell. You actually get a way bigger traffic jam than I would have assumed happening down here. Things are just having a tough time getting actually onto the road and out of here. You can see the element that's actually still having the most success is Ace Buckeye and his weapons platoon, which is pretty much almost going to reach their objective this turn. Everybody else just fucking move. It's just long, staggering line of units. And I guess all this is appropriate, considering that you're on the run trying to escape the pocket. Everybody's clamoring over each other, but it's not exactly engaging gameplay, so it'll still take a while to turn out. You can see we're on a fairly zoomed out version this time, so you can actually see that smoke screen up north. So this is where a lot of problems are happening, at kind of the converging point where stuff is getting on the road. I I'd really thought that A Company was going to be completely clear of all this shit before any of the Russians started coming, but a bunch of the Americans get stuck in this forest, and now with all the Ukrainians coming, they're all getting jammed up right here. And your units heading this way aren't exactly making great progress either, so it's just a lot of units trying to move in a very small space. Almost everybody's orders had them coming from different places. A lot of them had them coming from the road here, but they would have just run into this problem. But pretty much everybody had orders coming out this way on the road. Welcome to turn 5 for everybody who was the color blue, aka the one I said I would end things on. So I will, also because these turns are taking forever. So some stuff happens. Unbeknownst to me, one of your ATGM carriers is bogged up in the north, so that's bad. I think absolutely everything is on move orders at this point. Nothing's just kind of sitting. Except for the mortars, obviously. But everybody's moving happily along. The Americans are finally looking like they might maybe escape this internal hell. And they've moved all of like 200 meters in 5 minutes. You start deploying in Ribeye Woods, so this is actually your most forward location. And the scouts just start trickling out of the village. So this particular BTR is actually immobilized. It's not going anywhere. And its ATGM team is dismounting. So this is basically where things end up on the road. Just to fly by, you can see you got units all up and down. MSR Trump is, I believe, your name for it. And your little recon DDRMs coming out the front, all strung out. Some Americans finally making a little bit of headway. Like 2 strikers and that's it. They're actually followed by the T-64. It's doing better than all the wheeled vehicles. More strikers, and then a string of BTRs and strikers stretching all the way back here. And some of the Americans who started moving out well before anybody else are now completely just fucking around to the back. Like, this is unfortunate. These guys are still back here. So I am completely done with this goddamn game for tonight. So this is turn 5. It'll be the last one I post. And I'll just do a quick little click through of the majority of your units, or at least give you an idea of where they are. So all of Ace's units are up here. You can see name in the game, Ace Buckeye. He's moving up with the weapons platoon under Simplefish. One of the spectators got thrown into the game. Recon platoon is moving along nicely, brakeless there. Followed up in an orderly manner by 1st Platoon, 1st Company, under Ross. 2nd Platoon is after that, Joseph Stalinator. And we have some 3rd Platoon guys getting strung out in and amongst the tanks under Willie. So both Abrams, actually you have a T-64, the Abrams, and the Oplat and Bulat are all moving along the road here. After that you have Battalion HQ, and you have a bunch of HQ support elements. You're kind of moving to take positions along here. Let me see. Yeah, there's some other people in here. So the Sandman, Grenade Launcher, HQ. Then in this clusterfuck we have a few things going on. We have the Mortar Battery HQ under Alberto Gonzalez. The Anti-Tank Platoon HQ under Stash Augustine. The Weapons Platoon of 2nd Company under the Arab. Oh, Jesus Christ, look at all this stuff. 1st Platoon, the Merry Marauder. Didn't get stuck in any muddy plowed fields, but this isn't much better. A Company HQ here. 3rd Platoon, 2nd Company under Grey Hunter. The Mortar Section under the poster formerly known as Flippy Cunt. class warcraft. Second Company HQ, but it's Bakaruta. We have second platoon, second company. This is... there's an HQ unit here. First platoon HQ. And then the T-64. This is the sniper team. Things are slowly moving out here. I think that's pretty much everything. You should have a decent idea. Basically, second company and the American company are in a traffic jam. Most of the tanks, a lot of support elements, and first company are all strung out along the road. They're not even close to getting into their destinations yet. They haven't started cutting across the field. The second company stuff, first company rather, is all arriving in Ribeye. And that's your disposition. If there's anything else you'd like to see, I probably won't get to it for a while, but I will be posting this save. So, I will see everybody next time for what will probably be another 5-minute turn.